Quantum physics and psychology may seem completely unrelated, but some scientists believe that the two fields overlap in many ways. They try to predict how certain systems might behave in the future. The difference is that quantum physics aims to understand the fundamental nature of particles at the atomic and subatomic levels, while psychology tries to explain human nature. In my previous video, I discussed the basic concepts of quantum physics and how it relates to our minds. This video is a sequel of the previous one. Quantum physics teaches us that everything around us exists in a state of pure possibility until we, as observer, interact with it. Everything we know and experience is made up of tiny particles, not just matter, but also our thoughts, words, and actions. Thoughts arise as a result of a physical and energetic process. Without physical and energetic matter, there would be no thought. The physical basis of thought is a scientific fact. It is derived from the firing of neurons and synapses. They generate brain waves. Once a thought has formed, it has an energetic process all its own. It now exists as its own energetic particle out in the universe. As early as 391 BC, Plato postulated the law of affinity, that like tends towards like. Since then, many scientists have worked with this model, which current quantum theory models now call field-particle exchange. That's where quantum psychology enters the picture. Our thoughts and perceptions have huge effect on how we experience the world. In fact, negative thought patterns can and do affect everything in our life, from health to wellness and happiness. The reason behind this is that research is providing that thoughts do actually become reality. A fascinating research into the power of words and thoughts was done by Japanese researcher Dr. Masaru Emoto, who claimed that human consciousness has an effect on the molecular structure of water. During an experiment, he filled several glass bottles with water and then taped different messages to several of the bottles. The messages varied from "You make me sick," "I will kill you," or "Adolf Hitler," to "Thank you" or "Love." Some of the bottles of water were subjected to different types of music, from heavy metal to classical. And then all of the bottles were frozen and the crystals were photographed. Although water in the bottles came from the same source, were in exactly the same type of glass containers, and were frozen in the same manner, the crystals all appear very different from one another. Those with negative messages appeared to have a crystalline structure, while those with positive messages formed beautiful, symmetrical crystals like a snowflake. The heavy metal music water had no crystal formation, while the water that was exposed to peaceful music has beautiful, symmetric crystals. Emoto's conclusion from this research was that thoughts and consciousness do have an effect on your environment. Although Emoto was criticized for poor experimental design and for not sharing enough details of his experiments with the scientific community, his The Hidden Messages in Water book became a New York Times bestseller. Cognitive scientists concluded that there are many irrational human behaviors. Classical theories of decision-making attempt to predict what choice a person will make, but humans don't always behave as expected. Recent research suggests that this can be well explained by quantum probability theory. In 2020, in the journal Nature Human Behavior, a study of Chinese scientists were published which supported the idea of quantum cognition at the neural level. Scientists did investigate how quantum mechanics concepts can help psychologists better predict human decision-making. They recorded what decisions people made on a well-known psychology task, while brain activity of the participants were monitored. The scans showed specific brain regions that may be involved in quantum-like thought processes. Another study published in 1992 examined the effects of reasoning and choice. Participants placed bets on whether a tossed coin would land on heads or tails. Heads brought them $200. Tails cost them $100. They could also choose to toss the coin twice. Remarkable is that most people choose to take the bet twice regardless of whether the first throw resulted in a win or a loss. It looks like winners bet a second time in hope of winning money no matter what, while losers bet in attempt to make up for their losses. But if players don't know the result of the first coin throw, they rarely gamble second time. Thus, when known, the first flip does not influence the following choice, but when unknown, it makes all the difference. This paradox does not fit within the classical reinforcement learning theory, which predicts that the objective choice should always be the same. In the meantime, quantum physics takes uncertainty into account and predicts this strange outcome. It assumes that the first coin toss resulted in both a win and a loss simultaneously, just as a particular electron might be here and there at a given moment. Just as uncertainty exists in the subatomic world called superposition, within quantum theory it is also applicable to our decision-making process and indeterminacy in human reasoning. This someone can be in a state where both agreement and disagreement simultaneously have potential. We often don't see this uncertainty around us on a large scale. Like we can predict the landing of a plane at its destination if we know its speed, wind direction, and departure time. But if we look at an electron, we can't predict anymore. We can't know the exact location and momentum of a given electron. We just can calculate the probability that the particle may appear in a certain spot, traveling at a particular rate. Classical psychology theories rest on the idea that people try to act to get more positive outcomes than negative consequences, or they make decisions in order to maximize rewards and minimize punishments. But in reality, people don't always act like this, because their subjective feelings about a situation undermine their ability to make objective decisions. So an individual's final choice is often unknown and unpredictable. People's beliefs about the outcome of a given decision, no matter whether good or bad one, often shows what their final choice ends up being. In this way, people's beliefs interact, becoming entangled with their eventual action. Quantum psychology is not an actual field of psychology yet, but an approach. Through the lens of quantum, our thoughts, energy, can become physical, matter. But does this mean that if we want to win the lottery, all we have to do is to strongly think about it? No, it doesn't. Because when we look at the subatomic laws, we can only talk about probabilities and possibilities. And from a quantum perspective, absolutely all the possible combinations are happening at the same time. At the same time, there is an infinity of possible electromagnetic traces already existing as a pattern of energy frequency. The hypothesis is that all experiences exist potentially as electromagnetic stems in the quantum field. By combining what we think, what we feel, and how we behave, we produce a state of being which generates an electromagnetic imprint. And this imprint influences everything in our world. This way, we have the power to attract desirable situations in life with our thoughts and behavior. Both the quantum psychology approach and traditional psychology have shown that thoughts, feelings, and beliefs do have an impact on the experiences and outcomes of life. We all experience the universe from our own unique point of view. From the quantum, how we observe or perceive our universe determines to a large degree what occurs in our universe. Our personal filters, or in other words, programming, have a lot to do with it. They are an important part of us and they protect us from an overload of information. Just like fingerprints are all different, so too our filtering systems. They develop throughout life through different types of influences. The imprinting we receive in childhood, experiences, conditioning, and so on. These filters helps us develop and maintain our individuality and unique view of the world, our beliefs. They allow us to define ourselves and form our own judgments and definitions about everything around us. While our filters can be very positive and make us who we are, they can also be our greatest limitations. But if we bypass our filters, we can go beyond our limits. Some changes can take place on a conscious level. Many psychotherapies are aimed at and they work well for many people. But such changes are not always enough. Our experiences are mainly a result of our perceptions. The tricky thing about this is that many factors which influence our perception work on a subconscious level. The subconscious is best described as an iceberg. Our conscious mind is the tip that sticks out of the water. It is approximately 12%. It's our thinking, awake state of awareness, and our decision-making center. Our conscious mind has 5 basic functions: analysis, rationalization, willpower, functional memory, and voluntary body functions. Whereas our subconscious mind takes up the other 88% and lies beneath the water. It's the power center like the motherboard of our body. So as long as it's working properly, just like with computers, we are not aware that this part of the mind is even there. So it literally runs our life without us knowing it. Our subconscious mind cannot think or reason. It simply feels. It controls who we are, how we react, and what we believe. Our habits are a function of our subconscious mind. It protects us from real and imagined dangers. The problem is that we usually spend too much time listening to that loud 12% instead. While via subconsciousness we can change our beliefs and behaviors. The examples of subconscious tools are mindfulness, relaxation training, hypnosis, meditation, and guided imagery. To summarize, there's just one quantum theory. Physicists use it to make predictions, which are always true. So quantum theory is the most well-tested and most accurate theory known. There is strong evidence that human beings are quantum systems as well. But the hypothesis of the quantum mind remain hypothetical speculation because there is still too little research done. The testing of the hypothesis has many theoretical, practical, and ethical problems. Hopefully we will know more soon. Thank you for your attention. Take care.